7 days left in the second year after being diagnosed with brain cancer. Lena Carter forgot someone, a man she had loved for more than a decade, a man she was never allowed to love from the very beginning. And now, he was preparing for his wedding. The bride was not her. On her phone, there was only one glaring reminder left. Lena, fix your relationship with Adrian Carter. Do not cross the line again. He is only your guardian. What she didn't know was she only had 7 days left to live. On the 7th day, he would get married, and she would leave this world. Chapter 2. Lena Carter stood alone in her apartment, her fingers cold against her skin. Her mind was blank. She couldn't remember Adrian, but the feeling remained. That sharp, tearing pain in her chest whenever his name surfaced. She remembered only fragments. At 10 years old, a transatlantic flight crash took both her parents. She entered foster care, and then Adrian found her, brought her home. He became her legal guardian, and the one man she was never supposed to love. The thought hit. A sudden, blinding pain exploded through her head. She pressed her fingers to her temple, her breathing uneven. Her phone rang. Doctor Marcus Hale. She answered. Lena. Good news, he said, barely containing his excitement. I got in touch with a neurosurgical team in Germany. They can schedule your operation in 2 weeks. Her voice was quiet. What are the chances? A pause. If it works, you'll need to stay in Berlin long-term for observation. She closed her eyes. And if it doesn't? This time, the silence stretched longer. Then, I've already booked your flight. 7 days from now. The call ended. The apartment fell into stillness again. And slowly, she understood. If the surgery failed, she would die on that table. Which meant these 7 days were all she had left. The last 7 days of her life. And the last 7 days she would ever spend near Adrian. Chapter 3. Her gaze lifted to the photo on her desk. A man in a tailored suit. Composed. Distant. Adrian Carter. Her lips parted slightly. Uncle Adrian. The words had barely left her mouth when a low, cold voice sounded behind her. Lena. She turned sharply. He stood in the doorway, not stepping closer, keeping his distance deliberately, as if reminding her that they were never meant to be close. And yet, this apartment had been designed by him, for her. Memories surged. At 10, he took her out of the system. At 11, he funded an entire school just so she could attend the best private academy. At 12, he stayed at her bedside all night when she had a fever. I'll make sure you grow up safe and happy. He had said that once, and she had fallen in love with him. Lena's face turned pale. Her throat tightened. Before she could speak, Adrian spoke first. Why didn't you meet Ethan Walker last night? She froze, then remembered. The man he had arranged for her. A year ago, she had confessed her feelings. So he started arranging her future, including marrying her off. I forgot. I'm sorry. His expression didn't change. I don't need excuses. He'll be here for dinner tonight. If it goes well, we'll move forward with an engagement. His tone was calm, detached, like discussing a business deal, marriage, children. You'll understand what a normal life looks like. Lena stood there, her heart slowly turning cold. She finally understood. The thing she had been holding onto so desperately was nothing more than a mistake to him, something that needed to be corrected, and she didn't even have the right to fight for it. Adrian checked his watch. He'll be here at 7. You have an hour. Then he turned and left, without looking back, without noticing that the girl he once held so carefully had grown so thin she could barely fill her clothes. Chapter 4. The room felt suffocatingly quiet. Lena lowered her gaze to her phone. The memo was still there. She edited it slowly. Adrian Carter is my guardian. He is family. I will not love him anymore. She stared at the words for a long time, then whispered, Okay, like giving herself a final order. Chapter 5. That night, she sat at the dining table. Across from her was Ethan, gentle, attentive, but her focus drifted uncontrollably toward the study. The door wasn't fully closed. She could hear Adrian's voice, calm, precise, emotionless. He was telling another man what she liked to eat, what she couldn't stand when she had trouble sleeping, how to make her smile. Everything about her, handed over completely, like a transfer, like he was removing her from his life with his own hands. Chapter 6. After dinner, Lena forced herself back to her room. She swallowed a handful of painkillers. The ache slowly dulled. She lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling. Only one thought remained: 7 days. In 7 days, he would get married, and she would lie on an operating table between life and death. Chapter 7. She closed her eyes. In the darkness, she whispered, "Adrian." A pause, then corrected herself. "Uncle." Her voice was barely there, fading. "This time, I won't love you anymore."